Thank you. Well, this is no news flash and no secret. The housing market has cooled slightly, and we are feeling the crunch of that bloated economy. Joining me right now to talk about the housing market is Mr. Louie Ortiz with Keller Williams. Hi, Louie. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We also want to talk about some of the celebrities who may be in trouble and feeling the effects, because it's not just us who are feeling the effects. Right. Celebrities also are feeling the effects. Particularly a couple of people. Sharon Stone is having a problem, isn't she?
Yeah, Sharon Stone recently had a house that she paid almost $11 million for, and just like everybody in our current market conditions, she had to lower her price slightly down to $10 million, and she still hasn't sold that house.
Oh, the hardships of lowering your price down to $10 million. That's tough. How about anyone out? Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. That was amazing what has happened there. Yeah, Michael
Jackson's house, his property up in Santa Barbara actually went into foreclosure. Had about a $23 million note on that he just couldn't maintain, and so that went to foreclosure. And another notable one was Donald Trump. Donald Trump's estate out in Palm Beach recently had a $25 million price reduction as well.
You know, we talked about Donald Trump, it was a couple weekends ago. There were rumors that he was going to take over Ed McMahon's, buy out Ed McMahon and then lease it back to them, but that didn't go through, and now a private buyer came in and bought out Mr. McMahon's house.
Yeah.
What was the last minute wrangling there?
I don't know. You know, a lot of those transactions between celebrities are kept very confidential, and they're not disclosed to the public. You know, a lot of they just don't want everybody to know their intimate details.
One of the other sad kind of situations was the extreme makeover home edition. The folks, remember the folks that move into those homes, a couple of those families have not been able to pay those homes, and they've had to move out of those homes. That's kind of a sad little thing.
Yeah, you know, I heard a little something about that, something regarding the taxes and such, that they couldn't maintain the taxes on the new property. So, but it just goes to show that, you know, everybody's feeling the effects of our current real estate market.
Okay, so how about us now? How about the little guys, you know, the people up and down the coast from San Francisco to San Diego? How has the market fluctuated in those major cities from San Diego to LA to San Francisco?
Well, I think what we're seeing, you know, across the country and also just here in Southern California is pretty typical. We're seeing a rising number of foreclosures, a lot of short sales coming on the market. You know, just recently, this past month in July, we had an 11% increase in sales, but the majority of those sales, almost 41% of those were foreclosures. And so it's very typical. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of that as we continue going forward.
You know, talk about when are the values going to come back up, when are we going to see an uptick? Are we looking at maybe 2012, 2013 before things really begin to come back in that second kind of phase?
Well, you know, that is by far the biggest question that people want to know is when we're going to hit bottom, when are we going to see prices coming back? And the data seems to suggest that we're still going to have a little bit more decline, but there's a lot of optimism between investors out there and real estate professionals. I'm starting to see a lot of investors buying, you know, a lot of these foreclosed properties and such. They're making a positive cash flow, and we are getting through a lot of this inventory. So I don't think we're quite at the bottom yet, but I think I see a lot of optimism between buyers and sellers out there.
In San Diego, are there still some hot spots, hot pocket little areas that people may want to be aware of?
Yeah, you know, several areas have a lot of foreclosures. Some of the outlying eastern areas of the county have a lot more lower priced properties and a lot of foreclosures. And there's some tremendous buys out there. But in the other zip codes as well, the buyers just need to be very diligent looking out there and looking for value. There's some great buys out there.
For maybe folks who are interested in foreclosures, the risks associated with that.
Yeah, there are some risks. You know, the banks really, they have different contracts than the standard contracts that agents use, and it's really important that a real estate agent read through those contracts to protect your interests if you're looking at those properties.
Have you been dealing with a lot of foreclosures, I would imagine?
I've had a few. I've had more short sales. Short sales is when people are basically selling the property for less than what they own. I've had quite a few of those as well.
Can you get into that a little bit?
Sure.
That's been pretty popular, hasn't it?
Yeah, short sales, there's some advantages to short sales. It basically is better on people's credit if they're not able to make their mortgage payments. Typically, we encourage people to talk to their lenders first, and but if that just doesn't work, we can put the house on the market for a little bit less than what's owed, and it's all subject to the bank's approval. And there's quite a few of those right now.
Any other advice that you might have for folks that are maybe a great time to buy for some people? I mean, honestly, it could be a terrific time to buy.
Well, the biggest thing is that, you know, people ask me, Louie, when are we going to hit bottom? When should I buy? And I think now is a great time to be looking, because really the only way that we're really going to know when we hit bottom is when prices go up. The other thing to take into consideration is interest rates. We may be able to get a great price on a house right now, but if the interest rates goes up, you basically lose that great price that you got. So it's a great time to look, and people just really need to be diligent and start looking out there.
Louie Ortiz, Keller Williams Realty, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me by.
Oh, it's great to have you. For more information, just go to san diego6.com and click on Hot Topics. Renee, going from a